Hi, ladies and dudes, this is Rebecca Lynn Barkley, aka Boobop1970. This is my review for today. And today's review, ladies and dudes, well, my friends, it's that time again for another movie review. And this movie review I'm going to do is another Halloween movie review. If you guys did or did not remember my last movie review I did for a Halloween special, is my movie review of Dark Shadows featuring Johnny Depp and the director dude Tim Burton. That was definitely one of my most piece of cake movie reviews I did last year, and I had fun with that movie review. It's very enjoyable even to this day, and it became one of my most underrated movie reviews I did so far. If you guys remember that movie review or not. But I guess everybody wants to know is what is my next movie review I'm going to do that features Halloween. Ooh, I'm scared. Okay, for my next Halloween movie review I'm going to do for today is one of the most underrated Disney films of all time that has so many dark and edgy moments. And definitely one of the first Disney films that has a PG rating. And thanks to Roger Ebert, he is the only movie reviewer that we could trust who gave this movie a very good positive rating, and he gave it a 2 thumbs up. I do praise for that man for giving this good movie a 2 thumbs up. And as for me, I will do the same thing like he did. But for my very own reasons, I guess. So for my next movie review is The Black Cauldron. And this is still one of the most underrated films, even to this day, for both movie-wise and Disney-wise. And so, anyway, without further ado, ladies and dudes, here is my 58th movie review of The Black Cauldron. One of the most darkest, most fantastic, and one of the best fantasy films of all time. And yes, it's still an underrated film, even to this day. So let's get right to the main plot of the story. Now, I don't have much things to say about the main plot of the story, but I will make it very short and simple. It's a story about a young pig keeper slash warrior named Tarwin, a very beautiful princess named Aloe, a funny looking old dude named Fluta Flam who has that weird looking magical heart where a string broke when he's going to make a lie, and a very funny looking cute creature named Gurgi. Together, all four of them are hanging on to their most epic adventure of their lives to stop this very evil skeleton dude named the Horror King, who is looking for this magical but yeah very deadly item called the Black Cauldron, and he wants to use this Black Cauldron for a very bad unknown reason to release his deadly skeleton army called the Cauldron Born, so he could take over the world and the land of Bredane. It's up to Tarwin and his friends to stop the evil Horn King for good and try to get rid of that Black Cauldron once and for all. So anyway, that is my whole entire plot of the Black Cauldron. And I just want to make it nice, short, and simple to all of you. So anyway, ladies and dudes, I guess everybody wants to know is, what the heck do I think about this movie called The Black Cauldron? Well, to tell you the truth is, ladies and dudes, I really do love this movie. It had a really good storyline, has fantastic characters, fantastic animation. I love the score that is so darn epic. It has so many good details here and there about this film, and even some good highlight moments. here and there of this film. But sadly, this poor movie does have only a few flaws. Just as small. But anyway, ladies and dudes, let's head on to the strongest points and the weakest points of the Black Cauldron. So for my strongest points for the Black Cauldron is a tie. Just a tie between the first half of the movie and two great memorable characters of this film. For my first strongest point of this movie are the two strongest memorable characters. One is Gurgi and the other is the Horn King. And I will tell you these two characters on my character section, if you know what I mean. I will tell you about these two guys in a moment. And as for the first half of the movie, it was pretty well done, pretty well detailed, and also pretty well fast-paced. I love every single moment of this movie that ever happened from the beginning to the half of the middle of the film. I love the narration to know about the details of the Great Black Cauldron and how did the evil king got in there in the first place. I love the part where Tarwin was playing around in the farm to make fun of those animals if they are afraid of him while he's pretending to be a warrior. I love the part where that pig named Henwin is showing Tarwin for the reason why it's so darn special, because this pig knows how to tell things from the future. I love its first entrance for both the Horn King and Gurgi. One for the Horn King, we got introduced to him when he was going to the dungeon and see his skeleton army that's already dead. And for Gurgi, he was searching for his munchies and crunchies. And my most favorite part about the first half of the movie is when Taran had finally held a sword. A sword that has magical powers. So yeah, I will say the first half of the movie is pretty well done, pretty well fast-paced, and pretty well detailed. Yeah, the first half of the movie is the strongest point of this movie, and I love two great memorable characters of the film. And as for the weakest points of the movie, once again, I got another tie. Just another tie between something's wrong with the 25th anniversary of the Black Cauldron and a couple of mistakes that came from Tarwin's sword. Okay, for my first major weak point in the movie is there's a couple of dialogues missing. There was a part where that old dude, what's his name? Dolben, if I remember right? Yeah, Dolben. He was explaining about mirror folks that he hadn't seen for a very long time, and he was discussing about something else. And a couple of the character screams here and there, like a Longwee, Gurgi, or is Fluter Flam and Henwin. Well, let's just say there's a couple of dialogues missing from the 25th anniversary edition of the Black Cauldron. And also, some of the mistakes that came from Tarwin's sword. Like, what happened to the sheath when Tarwin has the sword in his belt, but we don't see the sheath while he's trying to save Fluter Flam's life? You know, try to unchain him and all that stuff. And there was one point where Tarwin got the sheath back. I have no idea where he got it, but he finally got it back for some unknown reason. And then in Morva, I don't see a part where Tarwin is going to wear his belt in his waist. Whatever happened to it? So yeah, there's a couple mistakes here and there that involves Tarwin's sword. Really hard for me to say. For my two major weakest points of the film is there's a couple of dialogues missing from the 25th anniversary edition of the Black Cauldron. and a couple of mistakes here and there that involves Tarwin's sword. And now, let's go on to the characters of the movie. And there's only two great characters I really do care about that are so darn memorable. The first character I want to mention is Gurgi, one of the most greatest comedy relief characters of all time in Disney history. To tell you the truth is, ladies and dudes, I love Gurgi. He is such a cutie. He is the most cutest looking character I have ever seen in a Disney film. I mean, this guy had a really cute storyline. I love his personality. I love his attitude. He is so cute and adorable. He's such a great comedy relief character. And I do love the part where he's thinking about his crunchies and munchies. Any type of food that he loves. Oh yeah, Gurgi, he's my man. And yeah, in the near end, he did sacrifice his life to save everybody and try to stop the Horn King and his deadly army of the Cauldron Born. What a great hero. So yeah, Gurgi is the first great character of this movie. And the second greatest character of the movie is the Horn King, played by John Hurt. I friggin' love the Horn King. He is one of the best Disney characters of all time, period. I mean, this guy is pure awesomeness. And the best part is, I'm not afraid of him at all. Not just one bit. He is pure awesomeness 100%. I mean, this guy has a great storyline. He has a great personality, great attitude. He is so darn evil. And I love the part where he takes things seriously. What's he gonna do to the Black Cauldron so he could release his deadly army called the Cauldron Born? Yeah, this villain is awesome in so many ways. And maybe one day I will do my top 10 best villains of all time, and maybe he could be somewhere on my list. But we'll wait and see what happens around the main future. Yeah, maybe one day. Alright, let me get my water quick. And now, ladies and dudes, here we go. Here's my final thoughts of the Black Cauldron. Overall, the Black Cauldron is one of the best movies of all time that is so darn underrated and has so many great dark and edgy moments. I will say it had a really good storyline. It has likable characters. Well, two of them are pretty memorable. It has great animation. It had a really awesome score. It has so many great details here and there. I love the fantasy. I love the magic. I love scary moments and all the above. So for my rating from 1 to 10, I decided to give the Black Cauldron a really good score of 8 out of 10. You have better watch this movie to believe it. If not, the Horn King will hunt you down and take you down to the count and release his deadly army of the Cauldron Born. So anyway, that's my whole entire movie review of the Black Cauldron. I hope you enjoyed this movie review, and join me next time on my next movie review to come, as I'm finally going to release Pokemon 3 the movie, The Spell of the Unknown, one of my most favorite Pokemon movies of all time. So be prepared for that one to come, and I will see you all later. Sayonara!